morning, and thank you for coming out tonight. I'm Colleen Hall. I am an English teacher here at the high school, and I'll be serving as your Master of Ceremonies tonight. First, I want to thank Miss Flynn, Karen Flynn. Karen, your work on this has been remarkable, and we thank you for your dedication to this event. You should know that Karen Flynn has been the driving force behind the Poetry Out Loud competition here at Brighton High School, and that she's grown this competition to be much the crowning achievement of the English department. So thank you for your hard work and dedication, Miss Flynn. And thank you also to our students. Our students have worked tirelessly to prepare for tonight. And I know from listening to several of our participants that the work that they put into their recitations reflects the significance of what they're reciting. And it's hard. But in doing what we aren't certain we can, that we find our strength and that part of ourselves that we're proud of. And that feeling of accomplishment that is so often followed by a sense of peace. Capturing the truth of a poem, letting the language shape itself into a truth that cannot be named otherwise is elusive, difficult, and even at times painful. Leonardo da Vinci said that poetry is nearer to vital truth than history. Perhaps we search for the truth in whatever way we recognize it, because we believe that at the end of our search, we will be rewarded with that peace that seems to accompany the truth. I would even argue that poetry is necessary in the quest for peaceful human interaction. Poet Pablo Neruda reminds us that poetry is an act of peace. So tonight, I welcome you to come along with us and our students on their journey through poetry as they experience it, and hopefully to find that quiet space where language allows you to discover some truth of who you are. I'd like to begin this evening and our poetry exploration by welcoming to the microphone our first reciter, who will actually be Miss Flynn. Welcome, Miss Flynn.
Thank you. Okay, like as Mrs. Hall said, it's really hard, and I am a person that finds it very difficult to memorize things, so I'm going to give it my best shot. And this is for you two performers. If you need to adjust the mic, left loose, right down. I think I'll take it down a little bit. Thank you. Memory as a Hearing Aid by Tony Hoagland. Somewhere, someone in the room is asking a question. And I stand, squinting at the room, one hand cupped behind my ears, trying to figure out where that voice is coming from. I might be already an old man, trying to figure out where he got his hearing misplaced. Front row center at the Battle of the Bands, where a lot of leather-clad, second-rate musicians, amped up to dinosaur proportions, test drove their equipment through our ears. Each time the drummer threw a tantrum, the guitarist whirled and sprayed us with machine gun riffs as if they wished they could knock us, quite literally, dead. We called that fun in 1970, when we weren't sure our lives were worth surviving. I'm here to tell you that they were, and many of us did, despite ourselves, though the road from there to here is filled with dead brain cells, parents shocked to silence, and squad cars painting the whole front lawn, the quaking tint and texture of red jelly. Friends, we should have postmarks on our foreheads to show where we have been. We should have pointed ears or polka dot skin to show what we were thinking when we hot-rodded over God's front lawn and death kept blinking. But here I am, an average man, staring at a room where someone, blonde in braids, with a beautiful belief in answers, is still asking questions. Through the silence in my dead ear, I can almost hear the future whisper to the past. It says that this is not a test, and everyone passes.
Well, thank you, Ms. Flynn. If If I turn it left to go down, then I turn it right to go back up again. No,
Turn it left, no
I'm
matter
gonna
which
turn it
way.
left no matter which way I go.
Left, yeah, I get it.
Look at that. It's from all my years as a rock star. Y'all didn't know that. Thank you, Ms. Flynn. That was beautiful. So I'd like to welcome first this evening as we begin round one. There will be 2 rounds with a brief intermission in between. And so to begin our night's performance, please welcome Hugh Finnegan. Hugh Finnegan is currently a sophomore. He's in many theater productions at school and throughout the community. He also enjoys playing travel soccer. Welcome, Hugh.
This way? Okay.
And you can tighten it by turning the other way.
Awesome.
There you go.
This is The Calm by Sean O'Brien. At the mouth of the river, moon, stars, an Arctic calm. The twin lights at the end of the pier, revolving with the smoothness we expect of supernatural machinery. Seen from down here on the beach, the harbored ocean slowly tilts, like a mirror discreetly manhandled by night from the giant room it was supposed to occupy forever. The mind says now, but the stars on their angelic gimbals roll and fade, a tide of constellations breaking nowhere every night about this time. Strike up the band. In the tumble-down bar, the singer has fallen from stardom and grace, and though her interests nowadays are wholly secular, she can still refer back to the angels. And knowing that song, we share a moment with the saved before we leave to make the crossing. No captain, no ferry, but cross we shall, believe you me.
Thank you, Hugh. Please welcome our second orator this evening, Lillian Culver-Anderson. Lillian is also a sophomore who uses they, them pronouns. Welcome.
Could we hold for the,
You bet.
okay, we're gonna just, there'll be a brief moment between reciters, we have to elect the ballots. Get under the space.
Not Horses by Natalie Shapiro. What I adore is not horses, with their modern domestic lifespan of 25 years. What I adore is a bug that lives only one day. Especially if it's a terrible day, a day of train derailment or chemical leak or cop admits to cover up. A day when no one can think of anything else, least of all that bug. I know how it feels, born as I've been into these rotting times, as into sin. Everyone's busy, so distraught they forget to kill me, and even that won't keep me alive. I share my home not with horses, but with a little dog who sees poorly at dusk and menaces stumps, makes her muscle known to every statue. I wish she could have a single day of language, so that I might reassure her. Don't be afraid. Our whole world is dead, and so can do you no harm.
Lillian, thank you. Please welcome Elle Lyons. Ella is a senior at Brighton, and this is her first time participating in Poetry Out Loud. She is active in both the school's performing arts department and literary magazine. She finds recitation to be another great way to combine her love of both theater and literature. Welcome, Ella.
The author to her book, Anne Bradstreet. Thou ill-formed offspring of my feeble brain, who after birth didst by my side remain, till snatched from thence, thy friends, less wise than true, who thee abroad exposed to public view, made thee in rags halting to the press to trudge, where errors were not lessened. All may judge. At thy return, my blushing was not small. My rambling brat in print should mother call. I cast thee by as one unfit for light. Thy visage was so irksome in my sight. Yet being mine own, at length, affection would thy blemishes amend, if so I could. I washed thy face, but more defects I saw, and rubbing off a spot still made a flaw. I stretched thy joints to make thee even feet, yet still thou runn'st more hobbling than is meet. In better dress to trim thee was my mind, but naught save homespun cloth in the house I find. In this array, 'mongst vulgars mayst thou roam. In critics' hands beware thou dost not come, and take thy way where yet thou art not known. If for thy father asked, say thou hast none. And for thy mother, she, alas, is poor, which caused her thus to send thee out of door.
Thank you, Ella. Please welcome Will Spadoni. Will is a 10th grader here at BHS. In his free time, he enjoys doing art, being with his friends and family, cooking, and running for the Brighton cross-country team. Welcome, Will.
This is On the Existence of the Soul by Patty Ann Rogers. How confident I am it is there. Don't I bring it, as if it were enclosed in a fine leather case, to particular places solely for its own sake? Haven't I set it down before the variegated canyon and the undeviating bald salt dome? Don't I feed it on ivory calcium and ruffled shell bellies, shore boulders, on the site of the petrel motionless over the sea, its blade feet hanging? Don't I make sure it apprehends the invisibly fine spray more than once? I have seen that it takes in every detail. I can manage concerning the garden wall and its borders. I have listed for it the comings and goings of 100 species of insects explicitly described. I have named the chartreuse stripe in the fimbriated antenna, the bulbed thorax in the multiple eye. I have sketched the brilliant wings of the trumpet vine and invented new vocabularies describing the interchanges between rocks and their crevices and between the holly lip and its concept of itself. And, if not for its sake, why would I go out into the night alone and stare deliberately straight up into 15 billion years ago and more? I have cherished it, I have named it. By my own solicitations, I have proof of its presence.
Thank you, Will. Please welcome Eliana Alwise. Eliana is a sophomore at Brighton High School, and this is her first time participating in Poetry Out Loud. Her interests include music, reading, and science. She plays violin and has been playing since she was 6. She was happily surprised to find that she enjoys memorizing and reciting poetry. Welcome, Eliana.
Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could have bashed the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Thank you, Eliana. Please welcome Sogni Gupta. Sogni is a sophomore at Brighton High School. Her interests include swimming, math, and music, though poetry has never made that list in the past. However, due to her excitement to always try new things, she took the opportunity to compete in Poetry Out Loud, where she gained experience analyzing poetry and found it to be quite fun. Welcome.
Once the World Was Perfect by Joy Harjo. Once the world was perfect and we were happy in that world. Then we took it for granted. Discontent began a small rumble in the earthly mind. Then doubt pushed through with its spiked head. And once doubt ruptured the web, all manner of demon thoughts jumped through. We destroyed the world we had been given for inspiration, for life. Each stone of jealousy, each stone of fear, greed, envy, and hatred put out the light. No one was without a stone in his or her hands. There we were, right back where we had started. We were bumping into each other in the dark. And now, we had no place to live since we didn't know how to live with each other. Then one of the stumbling ones took pity on another and shared a blanket. A spark of kindness made a light. The light made an opening in the darkness. Everyone worked together to make a blanket. A Wind Clan person climbed out first into the next world. And then the other clans, the children of those clans, their children, and their children, all the way through time. To now, into this morning light, to you.
Thank you, Sogni. Please welcome Yusra Kassat. Yusra is a junior here at Brighton. This is her first year participating in Poetry Out Loud. She believes that every poem has a story to tell, and a true meaning behind it that can ultimately lead to an inspiring outcome. Welcome.
Epilogue by Robert Lowell. Those blessed structures, plot and rhyme, why are they no help to me now? I want to make something imagined, not recalled. I hear the noise of my own voice. A painter's vision is not a lens. It trembles to caress the light, but sometimes everything I write, with the threadbare art of my eye, seems a snapshot, lurid, rapid, garished, grouped, heightened from life, yet paralyzed by fact. All's misalliance, yet why not say what happened? Pray for the grace of accuracy. Vermeer gave to the sun's illumination, stealing like the tide across a map, to his girl, solid with yearning. We are all poor passing facts, warned by that to give each person in that photograph his living name.
Thank you, Yusra. Please welcome Alice Spiller. Alice is a senior this year and is here today representing Mrs. Hall's 6th period AP Literature class. This is Alice's first year participating in the Poetry Out Loud competition. Welcome, Alice.
Valentine by Lorna y Cervantes. Cherry plums suck a weak soak. Overnight they explode into the scenery of before your touch. The curtains open on the end of our past. Pink trumpets on the vines bear to the hummingbirds. Butterflies unclasp from the purse of their couplings. They light and open on the doubled hands of eucalyptus fronds. They sip from the pistils for 7 generations that bear them through another tongue, as the first year of our punishing mathematic begins clicking the calendar forward. They land like seasoned rocks on the decks of cliffs. They take another turn on the spiral of life, where the blossoms blush and pale in a day of dirty dawn, where the ghost of you webs your limbs through branches of cherry plum. Rare bird, extinct flower, you extinct color, you stay in my dreams in X-ray. In rerun, the bone of you stripping sweethearts folds and layers the shedding petals of my grief into a decayed hologram, my forever empty art.
Thank you, Alice. Please welcome Leo Katzman. Leo is a junior who decided to join the Poetry Out Loud competition after winning his classroom competition. This is his first year in Poetry Out Loud. Welcome, Leo.
Anecdote of the Jar by Wallace Stevens. I placed a jar in Tennessee, and round it was upon a hill. It made the slovenly wilderness surround that hill. The wilderness rose up to it and sprawled around, no longer wild. The jar was round upon the ground, and tall, and of a port in air. It took dominion everywhere. It did not give, it took dominion everywhere. The jar was gray and bare. It did not give of bird or bush, like nothing else in Tennessee.
Thank you, Leah. Please welcome Madeline Hood. Maddie Hood is a sophomore at BHS who enjoys spending time with friends and family. She enjoys art, music, theater, and recently qualified for states in speech and debate, but has not tried poetry recitation before Poetry Out Loud. Welcome, Maddie.
I'm offering this poem by Jimmy Santiago Baca. I'm offering this poem to you, since I have nothing else to give. Keep it, like a warm coat when winter comes to cover you, or like a pair of thick socks the cold cannot bite through. I love you. And I have nothing else to give you. So it is a pot full of yellow corn to warm your belly in the winter. It is a scarf for your head, to wear over your hair, to tie up around your face. I love you. Keep it. Treasure this as you would if you were lost, needing direction in the wilderness that life becomes when mature. And in the corner of your drawer, tucked away like a cabin or Hogan, come knocking, and I will answer, give you directions, and let you warm yourself by this fire. Rest by this fire, and make you feel safe. I love you. It is all I have to give, and all anyone needs to live, and to go on living inside when the world outside no longer cares if you live or die. Remember, I love you.
Thank you, Maddie. Please welcome Finn Mahan. Okay. Finn is a sophomore at Brighton High School, and this is his first time competing in Poetry Out Loud. Finn's hobbies include playing jazz piano and drums, being an editor for the school newspaper, and sleeping. Welcome, Finn.
Eagle Plain by Robert Francis. The American eagle is not aware he is the American eagle. He is never tempted to look modest. When orators advertise the American eagle's virtues, the American eagle is not listening. This is his virtue. He is somewhere else. He is mountains away. But even if he were near, he would never make an audience. The American eagle never says he will serve. If drafted, will dutifully serve, etc. He is not at our service. If we have honored him, we have honored one who unequivocally honors himself by overlooking us. He does not know the meaning of magnificent. Perhaps we do not altogether either, who cannot touch him.
Thank you, Finn. Please welcome Maya Finnegan. Maya is a senior at Brighton High School who loves playing field hockey, writing, and above all, going out for breakfast with her friends. Welcome, Maya.
There we go, there we go. Wait. You're welcome, everyone. Oh my god. I loosened it so much. It's unprecedented. Okay, I think we're done. Thank you. I was just gonna go with it. Okay. Good stuff.
Thank you guys.
Does it feel? I feel like it's good. Does everybody else feel it? I think it's flattering. I think it's a good. Okay. The Universe as Primal Scream by Tracy K. Smith. 5 p.m. on the nose. They open their mouths and it rolls out high, shrill, and metallic. First, the boy, then his sister. Occasionally, they both let loose at once, and I think of putting on my shoes to go up and see whether it is merely an experiment their parents have been conducting upon the good crystal, which must surely lie shattered to dust on the floor. Maybe the mother is still proud of the 4 pink lungs she nursed to such might. Perhaps, if they hit the magic decibel, the whole building will lift off and we'll ride to glory like Elijah. If this is it, if this is what their cries are cocked toward, let the sky pass from blue to red to molten gold to black. Let the heaven we inherit approach. Whether it is our dead in Old Testament robes or a door opening onto the roiling infinity of space. Whether it will bend down to greet us like a father or swallow us like a furnace. I'm ready to meet what refuses to let us keep anything for long, what teases us with blessings, bends us with grief. Wizard, thief, the great wind rushing to knock our mirrors to the floor, to sweep our short lives clean. How mean our racket seems beside it. My stereo on shuffle, the neighbor chopping onions through a wall, all of it just a hiccup against what may never come for us. And the kids upstairs, still at it, screaming like the dawn of man as if something they have no name for has begun to insist upon being born.
Thank you, Maya. Please welcome Isabella Spence. Isabella is a sophomore at Brighton High School. She enjoys reading, creative writing, listening to music, and acting in plays. She is part of the Gender and Sexuality Alliance, as well as an editor for the school's literary and art magazine. Welcome, Isabella.
Cold-Blooded Creatures by Eleanor Wiley. Man, the egregious egoist in mystery that twig is bent, imagines by some mental twist that he alone is sentient. the intolerable load which on all living creatures lies, nor stoops the pity of the toad, the speechless sorrow of its eyes. He asks no questions of the snake, nor plumes the phosphorescent glooms, where lidless fishes, broad and awake, swim staring at nightmare doom.
Thank you, Isabella. Please welcome Kanaya Vickers. Kanaya is a dedicated student involved in many extracurricular activities such as track, BSU, Delta Gems, all while working a part-time job. Welcome, Kanaya.
"100 Love Sonnets" by Pablo Neruda. I love you. As one loves obscure things secretly between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that doesn't bloom but carries the light of those flowers hidden within itself, and thanks to your love, the tight aroma that arose from the earth lives dimly in my body. I love you. Without knowing how or when or from where, I love you directly, without problems or pride. I love you like this because I don't know any other way to love. Except in this form in which I am not, nor are you, so close that your hand upon my chest is mine, so close that your eyes close with my dreams.
Thank you, Kanaya.
We have an add-on to the program, more the merrier. So I need to give some people some things.
Please welcome Maggie Smith. Maggie is a sophomore at BHS and she enjoys creating and listening to music as well as playing softball for the school team. Welcome, Maggie.
It sifts from leaden sieves by Emily Dickinson. It sifts from leaden sieves. It powders all the wood. It fills with alabaster wool the wrinkles of the road. It makes an even face of mountain and of plain. Unbroken forehead from the east unto the east again. It reaches to the fence. It makes it rail by rail, till it is lost in fleeces, it deals celestial vow. To stump and stack and stem, a summer's empty room, acres of joints where harvests were, recordless but for them. It ruffles wrists of posts as ankles of a queen, then stills its artisans like ghosts, denying they have been.
Thank you, Maggie. We will now give our competitors a few minutes to kind of shake off round one, and then we'll reconvene for round two. So maybe 10 minutes? That sounds right. A 10-minute intermission. Thank you.
Welcome back for round two. I'd like to start us off by introducing our judges, with whom this could not be possible, without whom this could not be possible. So our Master of Ceremonies first, Mrs. Colleen Hall, our tabulator that's madly tabulating over there, Julie Capacer from our English department, Dr. Ray Smith, think of a little royal wave, turn around, is my co-advisor at speech and debate. And by the way, you all should be doing speech and debate, let me just say that. Mrs. Parent, also English department, Catherine Muniz, English department, Mrs. Jenna Legault, English department, Rebecca Horowitz, English department, Agnes Leclerc, English teacher who's now at the tutoring center working with students over there. Okay, did I miss anybody? I hope not. Okay, thank you very much for being here again on this cold night, coming out and enjoying some poetry. I'm told the performers I'm very impressed, quite blown away actually. Each year they just keep getting stronger and stronger. At the end, we'll give them a big round. We'll pass out some participation certificates, and we'll announce the first place and the runner-up, and they will both be invited to go to the regional competition. After the regionals is, if they place first or second at regionals, they are invited to go on to states, and then there's nationals. So, but regardless, everybody's doing an awesome job. Everybody's a winner, I think. So, okay, Mrs. Hall, carry on.
Again, welcome back. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Poetry Out Loud, the competition is a national competition created through a partnership between the National Endowment for the Arts, the Poetry Foundation, as well as state agencies excuse me, and schools. Since 2005, Poetry Out Loud has grown to reach more than 3.8 million students and 60,000 teachers from 16,000 schools in every state, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. To begin our second round, please welcome back to the stage Ayla Spiller. Although she reads predominantly nonfiction, she appreciates the imagery and emotion evoked through poetry and is thrilled to be here tonight. Welcome back, Ayla.
Sonnets from the Portuguese 43. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. When feeling out of sight, or to the end of being and ideal grace. I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely, as men strive for right. I love thee purely, as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs, and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And should God choose, I shall but love thee more after death.
Thank you, Ayla. Please welcome back Leo Katzman. Leo has spent much of his time after school in theater productions, both performing and behind the scenes, which he feels has helped prepare him for reciting memorized poems in a competition. He also enjoys many science classes, including chemistry. Welcome back.
The Tide Rises, the Tide Falls by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The tide rises, the tide falls. The twilight darkens, the curlew calls. Along the sea sands damp and brown, the traveler hastens toward the town. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Darkness settles on roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. The little waves with their soft white hands efface the footprints in the sands. And the tide rises, the tide falls. The morning breaks, the steeds in their stalls stamp and neigh as the hostler calls. Day returns, but nevermore returns the traveler to the shore. And the tide rises, the tide falls.
Thank you, Leah. Please welcome Maddie Hood back to the microphone. Maddie has always enjoyed writing poetry for classes, but before she won her class round, she has never even considered reciting them despite her love for performing. She has found that poetry recitation is the perfect combination of many passions and strengths that she has. Welcome back.
To My Dear and Loving Husband by Anne Bradstreet. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved thy wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold. Thy love is such no river can quench, nor aught but love from thee give recompense. Thy love is such I can no way repay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then when we live in love, let's so persevere, that when we live no more, we may live ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. Please welcome Finn back to the microphone. Finn has been a member of the sailing team for 4 years now. He frequently listens to John Mayer and the Grateful Dead. Welcome back.
Conquered Hymn by Ralph Waldo Emerson. By the rude bridge that arched the flood, their flag in April's breeze unfurled. Here, once, the embattled farmers stood that fired the shot heard round the world. The foe, long since in silence slept, alike the conqueror's silence sleeps. And time, the ruined bridge, has swept down the dark stream which seaward creeps. By this green bank, by this soft stream, we set today a votive stone, that memory may their deed redeem, when, like our sires, our sons are gone. Spirits that made those heroes dare to die and leave their children free, bid time and nature gently spare the shaft we raise to them and thee.
Thank you, Fan. Welcome back, Maya Finnegan. Maya, this is Maya's first time participating in Poetry Out Loud, and she has had a great time memorizing her selected poems and pushing herself outside of her comfort zone. Welcome back, Maya.
I think we were going to just go with it based on our last time. Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
Thank you, Maya. Please welcome back Isabella Spence. This is Isabella's first year competing in Poetry Out Loud, and she hopes to continue participating in the years to come. Welcome back.
The Moon Now Rises to Her Absolute Rule by Henry David Thoreau. The moon now rises to her absolute rule, and the husbandman and hunter acknowledge her for their mistress. Asters and golden rains in the field, and the life everlasting withers not. The fields are reaped and shorn of their pride, yet inward adventure still crowns them. The thistle scatters its down in the pool, and yellow leaves clothe the river, and not disturb the serious life of men. But beneath the sheaves and under the sots, there lurks a fruit which reapers have not gathered. The true harvest of the year, the boreal fruit, which bears forever, with fondness annually watering and maturing it. But men never severs the stalk which bears this tolerable fruit.
Thank you, Bella. Please welcome back Kanaya Vickers. Kanaya's favorite poetry book at the moment is Milk and Honey by Ruby Carr, and her favorite poet is Nikki Giovanni. Come on back.
Semi-Splendid by Tracy K. Smith. You flinch. Something flickers, not fleeing your face. My heart hammers at the ceiling, telling my tongue to turn it down. Too late. The something climbs, leaps, is falling now across us like the prank of an icy, brainy lord. I chose the wrong word. I am wrong for not choosing merely to smile, to pull you toward me and away from what you think of as that other me who wanders lost among whom? The many, the rare. I wish you didn't care. I watch you watching her. Her very shadow is a rage that trashes the rooms of your eyes. Do you claim surprise at what she wants? The poor girl pelted with despair who flits from grief to grief. Isn't it you she seeks? And if you blame her, know that she blames you for choosing not her, but me. Love is never fair, but should we care?
Thank you, Kanaya. Please welcome back Hugh Finnegan. Hugh's love for creative writing and reading poetry is one of the many factors driving him to compete in this competition. Welcome back.
This is A Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles, and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, for he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. And in the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Please welcome back to the microphone Lillian Culver Anderson. Lillian participates in Brighton's theater program and also loves the challenges of academic study. Welcome back.
The Watchers by William Stanley Braithwaite. Two women on the lone wet strand. The wind's out with a will to roam. The waves wage war on rocks and sand. And a ship is long due home. The sea sprays in the women's eyes. Hearts can writhe like the sea's wild foam. Lower descend the tempestuous skies, for the wind's out with a will to roam. O daughter, thine eyes be better than mine. The waves ascend high as yonder dome. North or south is there never a sign. And a ship is long due home. They watched there all the long night through. The wind's out with a will to roam. Wind and rain and sorrow for two. And heaven on the long reach home. Thank you.
Lillian, thank you. Please welcome back Ella Lyons. Outside of school, Ella is currently preparing monologues to take to college auditions and writing a play of her own, aided by patience, discipline, and an unholy amount of tea. Welcome back, Ella.
My therapist wants to know about my relationship to work, by Tiana Clark. I hustle upstream. I grasp, I grind, I control and panic. Poke balloons in my chest, always popping there, always my thoughts thump, thump. I snooze, wake, and go, boom. All day like this, I short my breath. I scroll and scroll. I see what you wrote. I like. I heart. My thumbs so tired. My head bent down, but not in prayer, heavy from the looking. I see your face. Your phone-lit faces. I tap your food 2 times for more hearts. I retweet. I email, yes, and yes, and yes. Then I cry and need to say no, no, no. Why does it take so long to reply? I FOMO and shout, I read, I never enough. New book, new post, new ping, a new tab, then another. Papers on the floor, scattered and stacked. So many journals, unbroken white spines, waiting. Did you hear that new? I start to text back, ellipsis. Then I forget. I balk. I lazy the bed. I wallow when I write. I truth when I lie. I throw a book when a poem undoes me. I underline Clifton, today we are possible. I start from image. I begin with Phyllis Wheatley. I begin with Phyllis Wheatley. I begin with Phyllis Wheatley reaching for coal. I start with a napkin, receipt, or my hand. I muscle memory. I stutter the page. I fail. Hit delete, scratch out one more line. I sonnet, then break form. I make tea. Use 2 bags, rooibos again. I bathe now, Epsom salt. No books or phone, just water. And the sound of water filling, glory be, my buoyant body, bowl of me. Yes, lavender, more bubbles and bath bomb. Of course, some candles too. All alone with Coltrane. My favorite, Naima, for his wife. Now for me, inside my own womb. Again, I child back. I float. I sing. I simple and humble. Eyes close. I lower my voice. Was it a psalm? Don't know. But I stopped.
Thank you, Ella. Welcome back to Will Spadoni. This is Will's first year participating in Poetry Out Loud. Come on down.
Dirge in the Woods by George Meredith. A wind sways the pines, and below, not a breath of wild air stills the mosses that glow. On the flooring and over the lines of the roots here and there, the pine tree drops its dead. They are quiet, as under the sea. Overhead, overhead, rushes life in a race, as the clouds chase, and we go, and we drop, like the fruits on the tree, even we, even so.
Thank you, Will. Please welcome Eliana Alwise back to the microphone. Eliana has always enjoyed music, especially how one can put so much emotion into it. And she has found that the same is true for poetry. She doesn't really know what she would like to do in the future, though she hopes to always find a place for music in her life. Welcome back.
Tonight, I Can Almost Hear the Singing by Sylvia Corbello. There is a music to this sadness. In a room somewhere, two people dance. I do not mean to say desire is everything. A cup half empty is simply half a cup. How many times have we been there and not there? I have seen waitresses slip a night's worth of tips into the jukebox, their eyes saying yes to nothing in particular. Desire is not the point. Tonight, your name is a small thing, falling through sadness. We wake alone in houses of sticks, of straw, of wind. How long have we stood at the end of the pier, watching that water going? In the distance, the lights curve along Tampa Bay, a wishbone ready to snap, and the night riding on that half promise, a half moon to light the whole damned sky. This is the way things are with us. Sometimes we love almost enough. We say, I can do this, I can do more than this, and faith feeds on its own version of the facts. In the end, the heart turns on itself, like hunger to a spoon. We make a wish in a vanishing landscape. Sadness is one more reference point, like music in the distance. Two people rise from a kitchen table as if to dance. What do they know about love? Thank you.
Thank you, Eliana. Please welcome back Sogni Gupta. Sogni is actively involved in Brighton's swim team, math team, and Model UN club. This year, she was selected to participate in a teen leadership conference, which helped her gain confidence and can be seen when she recites her poetry. Welcome back.
The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows world-wide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air bridge harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Thank you. Please welcome back Yusra Ghassan. Yusra is involved in sports as well as different music groups. She loves that music has a way of showing emotion and has enjoyed finding this similarity in poetry. This has allowed her to find a love of looking for a deeper understanding within the words and to be able to recite it in the best way that fits. Welcome back.
Part for the Whole by Robert Francis. When others run to windows or out of doors to catch the sunset whole, he is content with any segment anywhere he sits. From segment, fragment, he can reconstruct. The whole prefers to reconstruct the whole, as if to say, I see more, seeing less. A window to the east serves as well as a window to the west, for eastern sky echoes western sky, and even less. A patch of light, that picture glass happens to catch from window glass fragment of fragment, flawed, distorted, dulled, nevertheless, gives something unglassed nature cannot give. The old obliquity of art improves, part may be more than whole, least may be best.
Thank you. For our final recitation, please welcome back Maggie Smith. Although Maggie has never done poetry out loud before, she believes it would be a good opportunity for her to try and have fun doing. Welcome back, Maggie.
I felt a funeral in my brain by Emily Dickinson. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell, and being but an ear, and I in silence some strange race, wrecked, solitary here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down and down, and hit a world at every plunge, and finished knowing then.
Maggie, thanks for bringing us on home. I can't think of a better way to spend an evening than to listen to these beautiful poems and beautifully recited poems. So if you will give us just a few minutes, we're going to pause for maybe 5 minutes while we finish tallying the scores, and then we'll find out who our winners are. Stay tuned.
I'm going to welcome the reciters back up, they're going to get the participation certificate. We are going to have a photo opportunity at that time with all the reciters. And then we'll get back into the line, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, the line. And then we'll announce the third, second, and first place reciters, and the first and the second place reciters will be given the opportunity to go to the regional competition. And I'm sorry, I don't have the date on that. It's in February, but I don't have the exact date. So I will let them know and make sure they're available for that. And so that's where it's going to go. Okay? All right. So the guys. Okay, come on down, Alice. And Leo. Maddie. Finn. Good. Maya. Isabella. Kanaya. Hugh. Lily. Ella. Will. Yeah, that's good. Eliana. Sogni. Yusra. And Maggie, through no fault of her own, my fault, was left off. I'm sorry, we'll get you the certificate, promise. You know, as I said before, this couldn't be done without the help of all the people who judged today, and who the accuracy. Prompter, where are you? Mrs. Okay. Did you ever have to prompt anybody? No. See, she probably feels totally useless, but we needed her. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway, I really, enough. And Mr. Pincelli, where are you? I'm counting on you for those photos. He always takes really good photos, and I'm too flustered to do it. So, and I got to tell you that although we've been doing this for about 9 years, we have never had a fireplace. We've never had a lovely chair. And this is all this lady right here. She gets the job done. She does it with panache all the time, every time. Okay, so who would have thought to get a fireplace from the drama department? I just think it's amazing. Anyway, okay, so now what I'm going to do is announce the third place winner first, and shake his hand. It is a boy, and that is Finn. Where's Finn? Okay, and our second, I hope I do this right. Oh yes, okay, here we go. Our second place winner is a young lady, Ella. There's Ella. Take her photo. And then our first place winner tonight is Maya Finnegan. There you go. Yeah, I won't tell what it is, but I think you'll like it. So I will let the first and second place winner know the date of the competition, or the regionals, okay? And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for coming again.